It's like the conspiracy video I was watching on one stream where they were encouraging people to eat, I believe it was arsenic, which they were calling vitamin K.
Wow,
Oh, hell yeah.
that's amazing.
wait, whoa, what? Wait, first of all,
Wait, I thought K was potato.
It is. The potassium is
K
actually...
is the atomic no. It's not. But that's the atomic like name
Letter?
for potassium, but it's not.
Okay.
yeah,
vitamin.
vitamin K is a colloquial term for, right? At least that's what I thought.
That is
it was.
also true.
That as well.
Yeah. Or maybe there's also a vitamin K.
That's arsenic.
No. Okay. Yes, you're right. Sorry.
Mildred was teaching us. Okay.
Oh yes. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So you're saying arsenic is actually good for you? That's what you're saying?
No. It was like
Left track, vitamin K, arsenic. Now good for you.
I can't. I want to start. I started recording, and I really want to, like, in the editing, like, go back and start the episode there. But I really feel like if we start the episode by saying vitamin K is actually good for you, that we're gonna get like nuked. So our channel is gonna get destroyed.
get a little.
Proximity alert. Vessel approaching. The vessel is hailing.
Space.
Warning. Warp core collapse in 10 seconds.
Welcome to episode 4. Welcome to episode B. I don't know what episode.
Welcome
No
to
need to start
episode
over.
Fumble.
Yeah, welcome to episode, and then I need like a clean plate of like 5 seconds, and then I'll insert. Then they'll just insert me saying the actual episode of Left Trek. Oh my god! It's the start of Left Trek season 2, I guess, because it's the start of. Oh my god! My phone is on. Hold on. There you go. Turn that
Run
off.
it again.
Film Cow is streaming, folks. I just needed to know about it. Okay. So, episode 14 of Left Trek. We are here joined by Mildred, aka ThoughtSlime. Hey.
Hello. I know Star Trek.
It's a pleasure to have you on. We of course are joined by me, Eric from Left Track, and Zots, who may or may not be eating a pie or arsenic filled potato.
Hi, yes, I am Zots. Only Zots on Twitch, and here in your left tracks.
Ooh, and Brian.
Oh, who, me?
No,
Oh,
the
hi.
other one.
Oh, okay.
Can you put them back on the mic?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
Hey, more energetic Brian. It's Brian's
Can you
evil
come
twin.
back as a better version of yourself?
Hey,
Oh, hey, everybody. It's me, Trashcan1312, a.k.a. Brian.
Hey, it's streamer Brian.
Gross! Never do that again.
Coming to you
I love the super
hot,
vibe.
hot and live, 5 a.m. drive time commute. All right.
All right.
An LTRK 99.
I thought it was streamer Brian, but apparently it was radio Brian. Very,
radio Brian.
very like.
It's a form of streaming.
That's a
True.
good point. That's an excellent point. Oh,
Also, imagine me streaming.
yeah, it couldn't be you. Could not
Couldn't
be you.
me. Couldn't be me.
So we like, before we get into this, of course, we have me. I'm a Trekkie. I watch a lot of Star Trek. I watch a lot of Star Trek all the time. Brian is also very familiar with Star Trek, and Zots, aka the Rube, someone who is experiencing Star Trek for mostly the first time through this podcast, as we watch every episode of TNG 2 at a time, starting from the beginning. No skips.
Yeah. Yeah, gotta thank TNG. one major life lesson I can take away from the first season of TNG is to rethink the relationships with my friends. I think, when they tell you to watch something, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Did no one warn you that the first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation is absolute ass, or you were just left to discover that?
They did.
We
but
hinted at it, but we wanted mostly Zots to experience the horrors, just all on his own.
Mildred, the running joke here is the fact that in almost every episode of this podcast, there's like with 10-15 minutes devoted to talking about like Deep Space Nine or Voyager and how they're better shows, but I've never seen those either. So I just like sit here just grooving on like what's
the idea. The idea that anyone could consider Voyager a better show than Next Generation is deeply offensive to me.
Thank you.
Not sure where you got that one.
Yeah, Zots. That's another Rube Trek take for Rube Trek from Zots.
I don't
talk shit about Voyager.
It's okay. You're ignorant. You don't know that.
I've never
that Voyager...
seen them. How do I know the difference? Because they're differently named. Come on now.
Voyager. For future reference, Voyager is the pro-fascism one, and Deep Space Nine is the pro-communism one.
Okay.
That's just the general. And then what's Enterprise?
The lib one. The liberal one.
It's the Julius Evola one. It's the Return to Tradition series.
No.
Interesting that you would think of that as distinct from fascism.
That's super fascism.
We already established that this is just West Wing in space. That's all that is. That's all this is.
I mean,
it's
established that.
It's Lib Trek. It's Lib Trek. Yeah, because it is.
Lib Trek is.
You have this patina of like nostalgia over this show, right? I don't. I'm seeing it for like what it is. And yeah.
Listen. I'm not saying that there isn't many things that are reminiscent of Aaron Sorkin's West Wing. However, you know what? I can't. What am I defending Star Trek for? We've only seen.
I will say that one of the primary differences between Star Trek: The Next Generation and the West Wing is that the writers of Star Trek: The Next Generation are not typically masturbating while writing.
No, it's true. It's true.
Maybe afterwards or before, but not during.
Yeah, none of the female characters have a neutral leading masculine name where they can then be confident, but then also be like dressed down regularly by
there's
like
never a scene where someone's like, I bow to your superior wisdom because you're a political speechwriter. And I just can't compete with that kind of rhetorical prowess instead of saying, shut up, asshole.
Yeah. Picard goes down to Enterprise to the engineering, and he's like, oh, Ensign Charlie. Parentheses female. Well, you sure are looking good today. And it's like, Captain, I'm actually an incredibly accomplished engineer. I don't. What's an accomplished? Who is an accomplished engineer? Freaking Thomas Edison. I don't know what you're doing up in here. I've never seen The West Wing. Don't worry, I'm cutting all of that.
Yeah, sure you are.
Yeah, sure, bud. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're gonna cut that like I wasn't finishing eating my pie right now. That's
well. So what is your experience, Mildred, with Star Trek? When you first watch it? How often do you rewatch? Stuff like that.
Lifelong fan. I was raised on The Next Generation. I've followed. I'm not so much into a lot of the newer stuff. Not a big fan of the Kelvin timeline and shit like that. But I like Lower Decks, and I like
Lower Decks is great.
Brave New Worlds is great. But yeah, no. My favorite is Deep Space Nine, obviously.
Of course. The communist one, yeah. We here at Left Trek, we're not well, I say we, it's mostly me and Brian who started this podcast a year prior to the first episode coming out, where we attempted to watch Star Trek Picard, the first two episodes as they came out, and it was so bad.
You want to talk about Limb Trek?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was so bad that we
How bad was it?
it was so bad that we stopped doing the podcast. that I was just like, okay, I just was like, oh yeah, well, I'm still editing the first one. Yep, I'm still editing it. Yep. And then a year passed, and of course, I never actually released it. That's a goal on our Patreon though. Sign up at Patreon/Left Trek, or maybe there's a C in there. I don't really know.
Smooth. Smooth plug.
Very smooth.
Thank you.
In the Firefly movie where they get on the call and they hear all the Reavers screaming.
Yeah.
That's what the whole episode sounds like.
Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Just Eric, myself, and Elliot just all screaming.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a great time.
No.
Surely it can't be worse than watching Star Trek Picard.
Yeah. well, watching Star Trek Picard was an integral experience. I think the episode actually turned out
for you.
It turned out the episode I think turned out okay. I haven't re-listened to it because I don't want to relive Star Trek Picard, even though of course I then went on to watch the rest of the season and season 2 and then
obviously
just a glutton for punishment.
My girlfriend was watching it because she loves like bad sci-fi stuff, and I was just like, okay, I'll sit down and watch. I watched the
hold on a second. Girlfriend, I thought this was a Star Trek podcast.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I cut.
Ring the bell.
Reminder to future. Cut that. Moving swiftly on. We're starting season 2 today, and the first episode of season 2 are. This is also our spooky. This is the spooky episode. This is the Halloween episode, even though this is probably not going to come out till like December, because I'm a lazy bastard and I haven't discovered my right Vyvanse dose yet. It's changed my life. It really has. This podcast wouldn't be possible without it. Even though it's literally only like 4 hours of work every week, I still procrastinate on it. We start off with the spooky episodes. These actually did happen to be pretty spooky, especially the second one.
They're definitely like a horror vibe. Like more so than some like actual marketed as scary media on the CW or whatever.
What were you saying, Zats?
I was gonna say not as good as the season 1 finale.
Which one?
Good.
Which one was the season 1 finale? Which one did we just watch?
Oh wait, shit! No! It wasn't the finale. It was the one before it.
Oh, Conspiracy!
God,
yes.
I'm still so mad about the fucking one that I just erased it from my brain.
Oh, the yeah.
But that was the last episode. That's not this episode. But yeah, no.
Conspiracy was pretty spooky. That's true.
Conspiracy was fucking great, and like good on them for trying to like have like 2 episodes where they try to bring back like that horror atmosphere, but like they did not nail it. What? And there weren't nearly as many as like good. I guess there were decent like practical effects, but like not like in that.
Well, not a lot.
What about that Skeletor that Worf fought?
Yeah,
that was good.
That was great.
What about the skeleton orc?
It was good, but it wasn't like goopy chest burster good.
Well, I mean, it was pretty goopy.
That was not a wet puppet, right?
It absolutely was the wet puppet. How dare you?
But it's a costume.
I'm gonna leave this fucking call.
I
We're talking to a wet puppet expert.
Well,
right
that's
now.
that's why I was bringing it up. That's my mistake. So it was a wet puppet
Don't
then.
explain to me.
Oh my god! I'm
Explaining.
freaking slime splaining.
Shit.
We're never gonna recover from this. So yeah, well, unfortunately, of course, that's the second one. We have to start off with episode 14. No, sorry, we're doing episode 14, season 2, episode 1, The Child. Marina Sirtis's least favorite episode, according to IMDb trivia. I tried looking at the source on that. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, and if you're familiar with the show, that's saying something.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with Marina Sirtis's role on the show specifically, especially when she was she was backstage and Gene Roddenberry's lawyer is just stuff your bra more. You gotta get those bazongas on television. That's why you're here. smoking 5 cigarettes at the same time. It's some dark stuff. We of course learn immediately from the very start of the episode that Gates McFadden has left the show. A renowned actor of stage and screen was constantly trying to make the show good, and she was just constantly dealing with the overt and awful sexism of the production cast, and then she gets replaced by Dr. McRacist. Who we'll see soon. So we open on some nice.
Fucking hate Pulaski.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Pulaski.
This is the introduction of the freaking Dr. Pulaski, folks. So man, there's a lot to talk about, and unfortunately because my microphone my phone broke, I had to actually type my notes, and so they're pretty long-winded, and so I'm gonna try to skip over them as best I can, because so that we're not here for 5 freaking hours. Yeah, so we get some nice mini shots of the Enterprise next to another ship. The shuttle's departing. Crusher is bailed on this fucking shit show called Star Trek: The Next Generation. But unfortunately, she did not take her child with her. The entire thing that
Oh
they're
dear,
doing,
how tragic.
Yeah, and they also say that she's apparently going off to become the head of Starfleet Medical. I don't think that's canon.
No, it is.
It's
That kind of took me back too. I was like, it's been a while since I've seen this episode. If that's the case, and spoilers for Zod's, Crusher obviously does come back. So she just gets fucking straight demoted back to being doctor on a ship. Huh?
She gets school nurse. There you go.
Yeah, welcome back.
She was stealing a lot of vitamin K from various places, distributing it illicitly. So she got sent back into exile aboard the aboard. I think Hugh actually does say at one point that she was sent back into exile. I'm stealing a joke from the actual show itself. My goodness.
I just really appreciate that ketamine is such a big deal in the Federation. It's good to know that it's stuck around.
We get some evidence of some pretty strong disassociatives in these 2 episodes as well. But Picard could not give a single shit that the love of his life is leaving the ship, and is instead marveling.
That's his way, though. He takes it on the chin. He doesn't express his emotions.
That's true. He does at the last season of not the last season, but the very last movie. His permanent goodbye to Riker is them exchanging a brief wordless handshake and then walking out of the room. So that is Picard's.
And then Picard happens.
But also in his no, it does not.
No.
He instead is in his ready room marveling at a small glass hexagon that their chief engineer designed, who is Geordi. Riker, who Zot's nearly freaking creams while we were watching the episode together, because I didn't realize, because I rewatched Star Trek Next Generation all the time, and I'm used to Riker with a beard, but this is one of the first times that Riker that with Dots is actually seeing Riker with the beard. What are your first
Like
impressions of beard Riker?
Young Riker. Oh my god.
So sit on me like sit on me weird, like you sit on chairs weird.
Just spin me around for the back.
It's like it was shocking because like my mental image of like Riker with a beard is like the gray like wolf like arc from that show, like the factor belief or whatever, factor fiction or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like
it's made up.
Have you ever had an ear of corn?
Yeah. Have you ever danced in the pale moonlight? Yeah, that's
You ever notice
that's what the
people are
devil's
bringing
pale
their
moonlight.
pets to the veterinarian a lot these days?
Have you ever recorded a leftist Star Trek podcast? Ooh.
So it's like I'm used to seeing him in like that, but this is the first time when I saw like Prime, and I was just like, oh wow, oh fuck, holy shit. I wasn't paying attention to the show, but now I'm gonna have to look. And then Pulaski happened, and I was just like, please turn it off.
This will now be referred to as Prime era Riker. I think that's a good one for it.
Fucking Frakes just hits 35 and grows a beard.
Are you familiar with
what's that?
You're kind of cutting
the term
out.
growing the beard? Sorry, are you familiar with the term growing the beard?
Growing the beard? No.
Yeah, so it's the opposite of jumping the shark. It's when a bad show gets good, and it specifically references the fact that Star Trek: The Next Generation's first season is dog shit, and then gets good when Riker grows a beard.
I have not heard that before.
I have not heard.
I have heard that before.
I mean, that's good because just off the bat, it starts pulling a lot of weight. It starts,
Yeah.
Well, and I would not, personally, I don't think Star Trek gets like good until like, I don't know I'd have to go look at the episode. I know the first like I really like Conspiracy looking back on it, but I know like the first like good episode of Star Trek is Measure of a Man, which is upcoming. I can't wait.
Yeah, that one's really good.
And which we'll probably swap over to one episode at a time because we keep going over recording schedules.
Because we go long. Yeah.
Don't scare Mildred yet. Mildred will be plenty scared once this recording has lasted for 2 hours. And
oh no!
All
right, hop to it.
Geordi is a chief engineer now, which Riker's like, ooh, wow, it's cool that we had a chief engineer. Of course, they're completely gaslighting us because this is like the 13th chief engineer that they've had, because they're trying to tell us that chief engineer wasn't always a position. Was always a position held by one person and not a powerful Starfleet-wide union that maintained perfectly horizontal, non-hierarchical structure, but unfortunately was crushed with the start of season 2.
Every engineer a chief engineer. Mm-hmm. That was their motto.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now, of course, there's just the one chief engineer. Geordi's the one that crushed the union. That's why you got the job.
Makes sense. The implication is whoever was the previous chief engineer became so Pulaski was like the chief engineer, she became the doctor. So then there's room for a new chief engineer. I think it just goes down the chain.
She was actually on board the Enterprise the entire time as just one of like the several thousand chief engineers that they had just operating the entirety of the ship, and just got promoted to doctor after Crusher got promoted to the head of Starfleet Medical. Yeah. which is definitely canon. Wesley has taken over fully as helm officer, And to be honest, if I lived and or worked on this fucking ship, that I would be less than comfortable with this 12-year-old piloting the Star Destroyer. But I mean, okay, whatever. He's there. Wesley, although Wesley,
he's one of two helmsmen. We get that other helmsman in the next episode.
Oh yeah, oh yes.
And he was great.
Yeah,
he was great. He was amazing.
Star performance, a performance that inspired a meme that Zotz was like, wait a second, that guy looks familiar.
I'm toxically terminally online. I know this.
I've seen this.
Yeah. Wesley immediately demonstrates his incompetence as he lets a ferry catch up with the Enterprise.
Yeah, Tinkerbell comes flying, man.
You fucking hate this kid so much. He did fucking nothing to you. He didn't write Picard.
Well, actually, he is heavily involved with New Trek. I'll have you know, he is not without sin. And apparently, the alternate universe, he becomes the emperor of the Terran Imperium. So, I don't know, kind of toxic if you're asking me.
Hold on now. You can't hold. That's a separate person.
I think I hold people accountable for the actions of their universe selves. Just like I am accountable for our Mu Universe podcast, LibTrek. Data, as an avid fairy hunter, immediately detects the telltale sign of fey magic. We get a little POV shot of a fairy stalking two men, flying through walls, briefly eating the dreams of a hairy-chested gentleman, and then finally finds a womb via Troy that it can impregnate itself into. But we come back into Picard's narration as he states there is a plasma plague that they have to go deal with in some system. And I mean, come on, what's spookier than a plasma plague? Am I right? It's Halloween.
What is a plasma plague? It's never really defined, like, what that means.
That's a good question.
All we know is that it is incredibly deadly.
So it's a deadly plague. It's somehow a plasma plague. It infects people, which is horrifying, and it can grow. So I mean, let your imagination go fucking wild with it. And it's genetically engineered. So
yeah,
this is an extremely horrifying concept.
Not good. Bad news.
Picard sends Data to go meet with the new doctor. If that is because the doctor's racist. Spoilers. And finds out that she hasn't been reported for duty. That's a keel hauling in Starfleet. So Picard tracks her down and discovers that she's in 10 forward. Picard is like, a few hours on board, and she's already found 10 forward, which apparently no one had found 10 forward until season 2. They just hadn't gone there yet.
She hasn't even solved my riddles.
He goes down there to administer the punishment himself, and on the elevator ride down, there's an uncomfortable talking with Wesley, where they find out Wesley was supposed to be reunited with his mother, but they needed Wesley so much for the plasma plague for some fucking reason. I don't know. That's where they mentioned that Crusher's the head of Starfleet Medical, which gets retconned immediately. Picard comes in, and we see Guinan. She tells Picard where the traitor is located, and just before Picard moves in to attack with his falchion, Pulaski tells Picard that he'd better sit down. As it turns out, Pulaski was comforting Troy, who is somehow pregnant. Got pregnant last night, and which of course is when someone gets pregnant, they immediately have a meeting about it, where Troy is just sitting an uncomfortable distance away from everyone. And Pulaski, who's all business, reveals the Federation's mandatory ultrasound policy. The mother has to look the fetus directly in the eye with their advanced technology before deciding to terminate.
They really did do that, didn't they?
Yeah, I didn't love how Data came out as pro-life also.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, Riker, despite the fact that it's clearly a result of fey magic, which they deal with constantly on the the Enterprise angrily demands to know who the father is. As if they're having a meeting just because like someone is pregnant. Like he thought literally that they called a meeting just like Troy is pregnant. It's completely normally. Everyone come talk about this.
Everyone in this room is potentially the father.
They truly missed a beat by not having everyone immediately turn to Riker.
Yeah, true.
Don't look at me.
Just fucking Picard looking over. Imzade?
You were on the bridge all night. Am I gonna have to get it disinfected?
No. They just no. To my understanding, much like poop on the Star, or much like shit, on the Star Trek, they just teleport away the waste. Like,
I don't know why you corrected back to shit, because now I'm gonna have to bleep it.
Yeah. Same thing with nut. You don't nut.
Yeah.
They just teleport it away automatically.
Well,
It's
that
like
is
Harry
in
Potter,
fact
yeah.
not what happens with poop on the Starship Enterprise. It is in fact recycled in the matter thingies. What do you call them? Replicators?
Yeah.
Turned into foodstuffs.
They never talk about that, but they say that specifically in Enterprise, which is just one of those little charming things that I like in Enterprise. Who knows what kind of future poop-based technology they have? As far there's only been a bathroom referenced in Star Trek in the Next Generation like once thus far. Very seldom like in the future. We don't even like see exactly where the bathroom's supposed to be. Like sometimes we see like Troy like washing her face, but like the bathroom doesn't even have like a door on it. There's just like a sink in like another part of the room. So maybe they invented technology that allows like maybe instead of having like a sewage system, because who has got the time for that, maybe they just install like replicators that automatically recycle the poop into useful nutrients. I don't know. There's a lot to consider.
There's a lot.
Sorry.
There's a lot of stuff you got to figure out to see how the plumbing system, or lack thereof, works on a starship.
Troy says that an unknown presence entered her body, and Picard is like, a life form of unknown origin and intent is breeding right now inside of Counselor Troy. And it's kind of I didn't like the sound clip of Picard saying breeding, but Riker once again demands to know what's impregnated Troy, and Troy begins disassociating immediately. Worf and kind of and we see her perspective, like as she's looking like directly into the eye, like literally looking at the fetus in the eye, and then we hear all the dialogue in the background. Worf like demands that they abort the baby. Riker argues they can't assume the baby's intent. Data says that in accordance with the Federation's fetal heartbeat bill, they must allow the life form to develop.
Well, it is life, is it not?
We get and there's a lot of and I don't know how intentional this was. I assume it was quite intentional, but we get a lot of shots of like Riker and Worf saying the word abortion as we, the camera, the audience, are staring literally directly into the eye of a fetus that's looking back at us. Troy says she's gonna have the baby, and the discussion immediately ends. I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool.
Yeah, I don't like that was weird because like I think Picard's like, well, I guess that means the discussion's over. No, man, like the discussion about whether or not to abort it, sure, yeah, it's her choice, but like there's a lot of other things to consider.
That's a good point.
In this situation.
No, that was Picard being purely out of his element and wanting to get the fuck out of that conversation. That was him knowing, like, the whole time he's just thinking in his head, he's just like, fuck, I get, oh god, oh that, don't say that, oh, we gotta go, I gotta get back.
Really,
oh, you hear
really,
that? They need me on the bridge, Captain.
Something that is really frustrating in this episode to me is that they established the premise pretty early on that like this baby is developing super fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the minute she knows she's pregnant, it's like, well, this happened yesterday, but it looks like she's already through her first trimester, right? Mm-hmm. And then like every time they see the child, any character who sees the child would be like, "What? He's older than he's too old now. It doesn't make any. What's happening? Did he just get taller? What is this? Some kind of sci-fi child?"
What is this? Some kind of science fiction?
So fucking frustrating. It's like,
What do you expect? Like,
you know about the situation, right?
Yeah.
Person who's babysitting right now.
literally the only thing you know about the baby. Like, are all of these people just to assume like, oh, I guess while I left the room, you had a 4-year-old. You know, like,
Yeah.
Where did this 4-year-old come from? Where's your baby? It's like fucking Fallout 4. It's great.
The whole time Picard's off like in between the time span of that kid being born and becoming 5, Picard's thinking like, yes, I could finally use this to get rid of the nursery on the saucer.
Alternatively, he's just like punching a hole like straight through the drywall of his room. Is like, another kid on the ship.
the scene where the fairy flies over the very hairy man also,
and eats his dreams.
He's talking about. Do you think that I think this episode could have been a lot better if he had been the one impregnated?
That's true. That's true. If
Yeah.
I mean, if it has to happen to the main cast, Riker's right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he would have been down.
Yeah.
Wait, are we talking about Mpreg'd Riker? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
all
the
right,
topic
sure.
on the
Let's
table.
go.
And
Truly,
as we
it's not
know,
the first time it came up on this podcast.
and Jonathan
Yeah,
Frakes,
actually,
as we know, would
out
be
of all
perfect.
out of all the terrible things we talk about, yes, this is the first time we've ever brought up pregnant Riker.
I don't think it's terrible. I think it's beautiful. I think the gift of life is precious.
The only series brave enough to do Mpreg'd is, of course, Enterprise, which is why I like Enterprise.
They sure do. That was a good episode.
That was a good. I actually like that episode. I'm an Enterprise defender.
Order, they did it on the Orville too.
Oh yeah. Star Trek TNG
Star Trek
NG. Star Trek: The Next Generation's Next Generation. I watched a little bit of the Orville. I kind of liked a few of the things that I saw. Although, you know, it is very much like one of those things. It's like, oh man, I'm Seth MacFarlane. I really just want to act out a bunch of TNG episodes. But oh crap, I sold this to Fox to the comedy. I've got to better make some poop jokes or something. That's, you know, the Orville's a whole discussion. They get to the plasma plague planet, and then a very pregnant Troy is like, oh, I feel great. I don't feel like I've suddenly become 6 months pregnant at all. It's really weird. They call down to the doctor who has a huge like real life actor in like a video game cutscene from the 90s. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
No.
no.
That guy. Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yes,
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. The engineer on the planet.
Yeah, he's like let's get going, and he points his thumb over his shoulder like he wants Picard to come with him, as if they're not talking like on a space phone from a million miles away. It's just
he has the best line delivery of the episode much later, and I can't wait till we get to that part.
Oh please. So the containment cube that we saw in I didn't mention that we saw like a really cool we saw a super cool advanced CG effect that they deployed earlier of a little containment cube, and then we see the containment cube in person. It's a physical prop too. Wow.
Cool prop.
Cool prop indeed. They go through they go through the plasma plague. They're talking about how fucking dangerous it is. Apparently they've been talking about it for 14 hours because the doctor needs to be extremely certain that nothing's gonna go wrong with it, because apparently if it gets out, it will destroy all life on the Enterprise. You know, we don't get a lot of like symptoms or anything, which is kind of good, because it kind of has like a cosmic horror element to it. Like, we don't know what a plasma plague is. We just hear these little like hints of like things that it can do, and are terrified by the implications. H.P. Lovecraft wrote this episode a very long time ago. It's actually this episode wasn't stolen.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, that totally explains Pulaski's fucking prejudice against Data.
Data originally was a very different character back when H.P. Lovecraft wrote the story.
Yeah.
You were meant to sympathize with Pulaski.
So it turns out that the A plot was stolen from the A plot is the child, which was stolen, of course, from John Carpenter's horror classic Star Child, and the B plot was stolen from a forgotten H.P. Lovecraft script, script for the play, I guess. On Data's way down, he encounters Troy, but oh my God, Troy's about to give birth, and she's in a birth, and suddenly she's in the birthing chair. And he's loudly like grinning. He's like grilling her about the telepathic connection that she has with the baby. She says she doesn't want an epidural because she feels no pain. Security arrives, and Pulaski tells him to stay out of her goddamn way. Data continues to stare at Troy, just like mouth like fully open.
What a little freak, huh? What a little fucking freak.
Hold on. Before I forget,
please.
Can we talk about like how Pulaski basically, when Data's she's like, being a turf and a tree.
Oh, sorry.
me being a turf and a piece of shit, otherwise piece of shit person that believes in breeding is only capable between spaceman and spacewoman. You're not allowed in the room, you fucking toaster.
Yeah, which is a weird line to draw because the room is full of machines.
True.
I think
if I wanted to bring like my phone in, they wouldn't be like, "Wouldn't you rather have a man?"
I think I missed the line that you're talking about. That's horrible.
Well, actually, I think it was just she was really worried about 5G. So all these fucking devices.
Data, please turn on airplane mode immediately.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Fuck Pulaski. I hate Pulaski so fucking
I want to
much.
address this.
Please.
I feel that there's a very Pulaski is a very hated character in the Star Trek community, and I think that a lot of the hate that she gets allows some of the most toxic elements of the fandom to like kind of go off. So to be clear, you are not meant to like Pulaski right now.
Okay.
But she does change and grow in her limited time in the show, and a lot of that is cut short by the fact that the backlash to her character is so severe that she it doesn't last very long. But but like, if I were writing a show and I wanted to introduce a new character, I would, and I wanted them to like have be redeemable. I wouldn't have them show up and be like, "Hey, everybody's favorite character is a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm your new doctor. I hate all the people you like."
I'm the new doctor. I'm a racist.
Data. We're gonna go ahead and call Data, and when he corrects me, I'll just call him it. It's gonna be it's gonna be great.
I've got a whole fucking thing about that.
Like, she's ruder to Data than I would be to Alexa.
This was coming from like a whole first season where everybody treated Data like a pencil sharpener, like an electric pencil sharpener. Like, it was just
Zotz has been on the crusade of people being shitty to Data, not unjustifiably. And I'm just here thinking this whole time, oh, I can't wait till Zotz meets Pulaski. This is gonna be great.
I was so mad because Dr. Crusher was like so not Pulaski, and like it's just like the stark contrast as you go from God damn it, what's the name of the fucking Nurse Nightingale or whatever, like you go from like Florence Nightingale, you go from like somebody like Florence Nightingale, like you trust this doctor implicitly, to I don't know, like basic television Rick from Rick and Morty. Like that's just kind of like the attitude that she fucking has, is that she's like too good for everybody on this ship. Once again, referring back to like, I'm too good to be a school nurse.
I think is like Bones, Like they're trying to have their version of Bones.
I think. Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
But
Not-
yeah,
not
but we get it.
Bones.
Zats, you hate women.
Zod just
This-
can't handle a girl boss winning. My God.
I can't. Pulaski seems like she's the one. Like she's still like stuck. She's still hung up in like 21st century like knowledge and like refusing like puberty blockers to fucking kids on the Enterprise. Like that's the energy Pulaski gives off. Like
Zats,
she's like, I can't handle people talking to this fucking CNC on the bridge. Makes you think I can tolerate you not believing what you came out with.
The idea that like also this is so like unbelievable to her. You spend your whole day talking to computers. That's all Starfleet is talking to computers.
She's always just wanted to be just fucking like she's like, but this one is a face and I'll see it feel pain. Like,
It's trying to pretend to be like me, and therefore not okay. I can't think of
Which is
anything
like-
that this is like in real life
Which-
right now.
when she like whipped out the fucking like diagnostic tool and was just
God.
like
I have
and
a
like
whole thing about that
data
scene.
scans data and is just like
Wait,
says you're a bitch.
We'll get to it.
So mad. I hate this woman. Okay, if she better get real. She better
Out of
like
context.
she
Yeah,
needs
that's a new sound clip.
Just giving
That's-
the cut it.
that's
cut it
the
signal.
cold that's the cold open to this episode now, isn't it? Like that's just
Yeah.
it's
Fuck.
Toxic Bernie Bros complain.
I'm just saying she better like pull off like she better like save the entire ship like
Oh, no.
by herself. Like there's like in a way where it's just like I really care about like it's her. Like
Well,
that's
what-
the only way she's gonna be
We will
redeemable.
get to it, and I'm very curious to see
Yeah.
where you fall on that, because I of course come out against the classic Renegade Cut video. Dr. Pulaski is good. Sorry, where I do not think she is appropriately redeemed by the end, but I do
nor
agree that if she had sorry.
Nor I, to be
Oh,
clear, I don't
good,
like
okay.
Pulaski. I just
Wonderful.
think that like it's a bit unfair that this character who clearly had an arc that she never got to finish.
Yes.
And then everybody's like, wow.
If
what a
she
bitch,
had continued, and she has a lot, and she does have a lot of redeeming qualities, and I think the actor, I don't remember the actor's name. I think the actor's great as well. I think she's wonderful, and I think she really brings this character to life. But unfortunately, she's the member of the space KKK.
And she's not a bad person in real life like Will Wheaton.
Yeah, it's true. Zots, don't worry. Racism against artificial life will be heavily expounded upon in Voyager, where everyone is racist to the hologram doctor.
Wait till you find out about Tuvix. You're gonna have be a conversation.
That's like 5 years of left track.
Do you remember? Well, of course you all remember because you're all fucking Trek nerds. The episode where where Geordi and Data are painting, right, and Geordi's helping Data express himself or whatever, and then Riker comes in, laughs at both of them, and was just like, this fucking a cripple teaching a toaster what a sunset is. Ha! Sure, write that in a medical book, you fucking nerds. Wedgie's fucking
on one hand,
Wedgie's fucking LeVar Burton. I'm gonna go make me a sex doll in the fucking holodeck, you fucking losers.
And Riker puts on the Letterman jacket and walks away.
on one
Same
hand,
energy. I'm still salty. I don't care how pretty he gets. I'm still salty.
I come out
against Riker to
I come out against your portrayal of these characters. However, I am fully in support of lying about what actually happens in the episode, which is a Left Trek tradition.
It's too true.
I'm sorry, Bill.
Too true.
Oh.
I said that I don't care how pretty he gets in the later season. I'm still mad at him for that. He should not have fucking said
Yeah, no, it's a whole fucking thing. Pulaski gets to hold, admire, and clean the baby. We're back to the baby. By the way, Troy gave birth. Blah blah blah. Worf comes up and is about to phaser the baby before they.
Okay. And this part really fucked me up. Okay, where fucking Riker's just around the corner
in the background,
and
watching it crown.
Yeah. Then he the minute security clears out and there's no threat, he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And she's like, "You were here the whole time?" It's like, yeah, but he wasn't fucking supporting you. Data had to support you because you're
he found an opportunity to assert his paternalism just right in at the end and gives Troy a nice supportive kiss. Now that I know the baby isn't going to explode everyone with its mind power, so I'm happy to be here for you, Imzadi.
My point is, I suppose, that Data's not a stepdad; he's the dad that stepped up.
That's true.
Picard in the log is oh, we're faced with two equally serious problems: a baby that was just born and is now around 8 years old. I'm sorry, I skipped forward. Pulaski's on the bridge telling Picard that there's no sign that she even had a baby. It was beyond effortless birth. It literally, the whole thing happened in a couple minutes. Picard comes to pay respect to the new mother, and they're both shocked. It's oh my god, the baby. Yeah, the baby's 4 years old now. Oh my god. And the kid says hello. Oh my god. And the kid also says, please don't worry, everything is okay. And sinister music plays.
I love how during all the I love how nonplus fucking Troy is this entire time.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's just
she's disassociated.
She's just once they I mean, maybe the Republicans were right. Maybe they were onto something. Staring your fetus directly in the eye while your boss and your coworkers talk about whether they're going to nuke it out of your womb. Maybe they're onto something. Maybe it forces some sort of bonding action to happen.
I mean, they literally they do replicate exactly what they're going for with the fetal ultrasound stuff. It's oh, we need to make you look at an ultrasound of your baby and hear the fucking heartbeat, because yeah, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing that they're doing in this episode, where they're oh yes, use our advanced tunneling womb tunneling technology to look at this baby right in the eye and say that you want to kill it.
Punisher, though, they're doing it because hold on 1 second. This is a fucked up space, baby. You can't pretend this does not warrant discussion on the ship where fucked up space stuff is happening all the time and killing people. You're not gonna have a meeting where hey, heads up, if anyone notices Troy is expanding, it's because she's got a fucked up space baby. What are our options? I think that's reasonable.
I agree with that. I'm talking about the cinematography as it cut, as they're talking about abortion, and the camera cuts back and forth between Troy looking at the screen and the cute little elephant fetus developing in the womb. But no, I agree. If an alien baby starts developing on my ship, I'm gonna have at least one meeting about it. Probably a longer meeting than they do, admittedly.
Okay, sure, yeah, have a meeting, do that. Do you have to say all your bad ideas in front of the person it's affecting?
It's called a marketplace of ideas.
couldn't you like talk about all the like get all this like, well, you know, we can always just shove an immersion blender up there, Cookie Man.
To be clear, what you're advocating right now, what you think would have been a better thing cinema-wise, is if they all had a conversation about what they should do without her presence.
Okay, hold on.
Zot's once again coming out strongly against the mother's right to choose. A typical Zot. This is not the first time I've had to cut this out of a podcast.
It's all right. It's space. It's a whole other.
I
can't tolerate this kind of behavior anymore. I have to move on. I'm sorry.
No. We know that's not true because you don't cut anything out of a fucking episode.
Hey, I cut anytime I look bad, I cut it out. I assure you.
Wait, no, it's not. It's not that. I just wanted them to like get like all like the bad ones out of the way, like the really bad ones out of the way, and then like at least like and then talk to her about with good ideas.
It's
not have like all the bad stuff first.
It's not important. We're moving on. Picard. We go back to Picard doing narration. He's like, "Oh, we have two equally serious problems. They're an 8-year-old child and the deadly plasma plague that will exterminate all life in the universe if left unattended." And this is where we get our first racist Pulaski scene, which I just fucking hate. And of course, in the seminal work, Dr. Pulaski is good. Actually, sorry. He cuts around this whole scene. Here's what actually happens in the scene. Freaking Pulaski pronounces Data's name wrong, and she's like, "Oh, she says Data instead of Data. Like, what's the difference?" And then Data, king shit, has a line where he's like, "Oh, one is my name, the other is not." Delightful. Love it. He's fantastic. He's got a very cheery demeanor. And then the doctor gets up and walks up to him and then to mockingly scan him. It's like, "Oh, is there a circuit for butt hurt, Lamau?" And then sits back down. Fucking, that's not just like casually dismissive. This is actual bigotry going on here, and I hate it. It's awful. You know,
oh, look, little robot having feelings.
It's also like, she's like, "Is it possible your positronic brain simulates bruised feelings?" And it's like, yeah, that's what it is. That's what do you think a positronic brain is?
Oh, you're talking about your
brain. Is your brain a brain?
Are you thinking and having your own ideas? What's wrong?
Wait. Do you remember that bullshit thing that I made up that's actually real about Data doing a Tight 5 set in the holodeck, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Pulaski shows up just to heckle Data, like in the back, he sneaks into the holodeck just to be like,
that might be this season too.
Ooh!
Doctor, please
don't negate the premise.
I do not go to where you work and tell you to remove the phallus from your mouth.
I gotta figure out what that episode is. She sits, so immediately after yelling a bunch of slurs at Data or whatever happened, she sits back down and then starts talking about how the plasma plague was genetically engineered. It's like, and then just tells Picard, if stuff gets out, all life on the Enterprise will be destroyed. And immediately they cut to the baby playing with puppies. It's like, even puppies.
No, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. That's a good point. I didn't notice that, but hold on. That you're forgetting what she said. Right? Because Picard goes, "Well then, Doctor, since you brought this to my attention, do you have a solution?" She's like, "No, I just thought you should just have that information."
I thought that was,
around, you'll find out. Like,
I thought that was appropriate, honestly. You know, if I'm carrying a box and then someone comes up to me and is like, "Watch out, if that box shakes too much, a nuke will go off and everyone will die," then that's gonna affect how I handle the box, admittedly. Even if I know that the box is already delicate. I mean, listen, Geordi has his special containment devices, so I'm sure everything's going to be fine, and no exotic radiations from the FeyWild are going to affect it at all.
What a cool what a fucking, if there were just one episode where they do this type of shit and nothing goes wrong. You know?
That'd be wild.
That's true. Are there a couple? I was gonna say like, oh, Data's Day, but no, Data's Day, something goes really wrong. Actually, never mind. That's a good point. Well, so we also get a scene because Ian's in the daycare. He's grown up since he got left off, and we get another scene of a child that's like fully entertained by just like looking at holograms of like shapes changing. It's like, well, okay, well, yeah, cool, future toy that like a 12-year-old would.
Cocomelon.
Yeah, yeah.
Describing Cocomelon.
That's an excellent point.
Sure.
They start transporting the first batch of the plague, and the plague appears to glow. Okay, so on top of everything, the plague glows on its own. So okay, we get like a little. It's just a little scene of O'Brien doing the transporting, and he's putting a little too much like flavor on. He's like flicking things. He's like bam, bam, like a little kind of a little too much artistry for the seriousness of the situation, O'Brien. But transporting is more of an art than a science. So but what have you? Picard's meeting with Ian, where Picard says that he never played with puppies. Kind of weird. Maybe puppies are rarer in the future. It's a little weird to me. Have the three of you ever played with puppies? I've played with puppies on a couple occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I've experienced joy before.
Mildred, you have not played with puppies.
I didn't know that puppies were real. I thought it was the thing they made up for the episode.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh, I forgot. This is the collective lie that everyone on Earth was telling you, that puppies weren't real.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Sorry to break it to you.
I blew it. God, I blew it for everyone on Earth. Shit. I'm gonna be in so much. Don't worry, I'll edit this out. If assuming they're not listening to the Discord call, which of course they are. Who's they? We'll find out in a couple episodes from now.
We'll find out one episode ago.
Well, can't you just tell me?
Well, we're moving on. Picard is meeting with. Sorry, I'll go back in my notes. I'm sorry. I'm there's some important stuff going on in real life here. The kid sticks his hand into a boiling pot of replicated soup, but like the doctor has a vape pen that she can treat the pain with immediately. Thank God. So it's apparent
Your kid hit this jewel.
Pulaski's like, here, hit this jewel. It'll take the edge off. Don't worry.
She's like, yeah, no, the kid's good. Just needs to hit the jewel twice a day and play some Fortnite.
One thing
Back to normal.
One thing I don't think they talk about enough when it comes to Pulaski is her alternative take on medicine, in that she uses like the humors, the 4 humors, to treat children.
Really? Because I was under the impression that Pulaski had no humor.
The kid.
Take that, renegade cut.
Eat it, Leon. Please come on the show. I really like your stuff. Picard's like, oh my god, the kid purposely burned himself. He just wanted the experience of burning hot soup and also the strawberry dream machine. I'm sorry, what?
Fucking freak. He's a little freak.
He's a little pain pig. Troy, yeah. I don't know what Betazoids get up to, but apparently there's something going on here. This genetic, I mean the Klingons are predisposed to violence, and Betazoids are predisposed to just loving pain.
I don't want to get into the race science here.
Oh, don't worry. That was the last episode that we recorded, which was extreme. The coding on a lot of these things. Star Trek.
It's a bit yikes.
Yikes. I guess I didn't notice because I don't see species.
That's true. That's a good point. And of course, once Left Trek becomes an extremely popular podcast, we will love to have Michael Doran on and ask him if it was ever weird that he was surrounded by people in many episodes of just like a bunch of white guys in blackface.
How was that for you? Was that awful? It seems like it would be awful.
You see,
How do you feel about the fact that probably even now you can't talk bad about it because you'll get in trouble and they won't cast you a new Star Trek?
yeah, they're not going
Oh,
to bring you
God,
back for
true.
Picard season 3 if you talk about how they made everyone wear blackface around you.
Yeah, keeping in mind that you absolutely need the paycheck. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, don't worry. If we ever have any Star Trek people on, it'll be Patrick Stewart, and we will exclusively ask him about why he was mean to James Corden that one time. Why'd you do it, Picard? Why are you mean to James Corden? It's because he's cringe. You thought you could make fun of him just because he's cringe and also an asshole. Not on Left Trek's Watch Picard. We know what you did to Star Trek Picard, Patrick Stewart. You're on
We're
the
never
knife.
gonna let that go.
We're never gonna let it go. Well, we get a kind of like creepy shot of like looking from outside into the ship. Hilariously, it's way noisier outside the ship than inside, but you know, whatever. Wesley's sad about his mom.
There can't be noise on the ship. There's no noise in space.
Well, but it's so noisy outside, and they cut inside, and it's way less noisy.
Because the inside of the ship, like the Enterprise is in space, so there couldn't be noise inside the ship.
Oh, you're right.
Oh,
there
true.
shouldn't be audio in any of them.
That's why they made this the original version. They made it in the 20s before they put sound on movies. and you know, this is all just like retconned. They retconned sound in. It's fucked
I'm
up.
sure that explains a lot for Zutz, eh? Like, theory pretty well. That
Can you believe that Code of Honor was recorded in the 1920s?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I can.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Mildred, I don't know if do you remember Code of Honor?
I'm going to assume through context clues that's the one that's basically the Tintin goes to Africa of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we learned we had Jesse Gender on, and we learned an amazing tidbit of that episode that it was that the reason why that all the aliens were just just black people. They just casted black people to just be this race of aliens is because of the director of that episode was just like a racist. He was just a racist guy, and he was like, let's just cast all black people for the aliens with apparently no oversight from anyone else, and then they just quietly cut ties with them for everything else. It
didn't come through, thankfully.
Yeah, thank God.
It blew my the script was just like, oh, they go meet like this alien species that has like some similarities to cultures on Earth, and this director is like, all right, all black people for the alien race.
Yeah, and they have that scene where they're like, on this planet they didn't fix broken windows, which led to higher and higher crime rates.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was Tasha's planet.
No.
It's okay, she's dead. We don't have to think about her ever again. As they prepare to warp away, we get like sorry, I already talked about that, but it becomes increasingly clear through Wesley's conversation with Guinan that he's not going to be leaving the ship. He's gonna stay on board throughout season 2. Oh my goodness. But oh my God, one of the samples is indicating growth. They're all going to die. They don't even know why it's happening.
Here it is, the best line delivery of the episode, where Captain Picard says, it's right before like the cut to commercials, and they're like, Captain, there's a containment breach, and he goes, well, how serious is it? And then it cuts to the doctor from the other planet, and it does a slow zoom on his face, and he goes, very.
Well, luckily we released these on YouTube, so I'll cut it a little video clip there too.
Tim and Eric, I couldn't believe it.
Very.
Picard tells Pulaski that, and then of course we come back and they're like, Picard's like, Pulaski, they're having a little difficulty down in the cargo bay. Maybe can you go help them?
Don't wear a mask or anything. Just go down there, take some deep breaths.
And then we cut back to Wesley is trying to pull like a backstory out of Guinan. She says that like she never knew Picard until they came on board, and so I'm thinking, after we're all thinking like, wait, so does that mean that the Mark Twain time travel episode was really the place that they met before? Like that was the connection that goes beyond family, that goes beyond friends, like that they had an adventure with Mark Twain.
If you listen closely, she said, "I never met the captain before coming on this ship."
Oh, game theory.
So she probably knew him before he was the captain, and she's like, haha.
Well, I'm sure we'll get...
Can't trick Guinan up with that type of shit.
Yeah, a little bit of misdirect here. Love it. Love
Right,
it.
Wesley, you're gonna have to wake up pretty early in the morning.
Is this the is this the scene where Wesley shoots his shot with Guinan, or is that the next episode?
Yeah, no, that's this one. This is the one where like Wesley all of a sudden is just like
saunters up to the counter.
I love hey, I love that whole no eyebrows thing you got going on.
which of course,
and she's just like excuse me, kid. 1, you're like 5, and 2, I'm paid to be nice to you. Please don't read anything else into this.
Excuse me, paid?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Has it been retconned yet?
I don't know. That's a good point. They have even in the Next Generation said that like, oh, I'll buy you something, which is either like a hilarious joke, like they're joking, like imagine having to pay for food, right? That'd be crazy. Or of course is just them not really fully fleshing out how the economy of the Federation works.
Hard to
say. So this stuff is growing so fast that it's just gonna break its containment module. For some reason, they can't jettison.
It's growing fast. It's growing. You say it's growing fast?
It's growing. Yeah, it's growing fast.
Nothing else is growing fast.
What could it mean when something's growing fast? Oh God, where's this 4-year-old come from? Where's the baby?
I can't believe these two unexplainable phenomenon that both happened at the same time on our ship are related.
A plot and B plot connecting in some like in a literal manner seems unlikely to me. So they can't just jettison it into space because like, oh, what if it hit the planet? It's like, seems kind of unlikely. Seems like you probably could just jettison it into space and you'd be perfectly fine. But whatever. But oh no! Oh fuck! I fucked up. No, I fucked up my notes. No, I have to go find where I am back. No. How am I gonna know what happened in the episode? What am I supposed to do? Watch it?
What am I supposed to remember things?
I'm just kidding. I watched it twice before. But it turns out the child is emanating as Fey magic, which one of the strains, very specifically one of the strains of the plasma plague. We don't even know if it's a virus. Do they ever call it a virus?
So I looked it up.
Oh, please.
I looked it up. I went on Memory Alpha because.
Oh, okay. So it's just a bunch of people making shit up. Got it.
Well,
right.
Well, sure, but yeah, it's a virus, and they say it also showed up in 2216.
Oh.
Also, all of Star Trek is just made up.
Well, that's true.
Fair. Fair. Random nerds unrelated to the production making stuff up. I'm sorry. Let me specify.
I'm sorry. This story belongs to everybody now.
Do they actually say virus in the show?
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Oh, in the show now.
No. Oh, well, see, there we go. It's because it's not a virus. It's a plasma plague. What is that?
Plasma plague trutherism? Is this what we're doing now?
Listen,
if you wear a mask,
plasma plague
keeps the plasma plague in you.
The plasma plague is confirmed.
Give you his vaccines.
It was developed in a lab. The plasma plague was developed in the lab. It's true. They don't want you. They got rid of Pulaski because they want to keep the truth from you. But she says it in the episode. Go watch it yourself. The child is emanating space magic and Fey magic specifically, and this virus was specifically engineered to grow when exposed to the FeyWilds apparently.
Yeah. They were like, what are the odds of that happening?
Yeah.
The kid says that he can feel that people are very worried. Like he's getting all tucked into bed, like Troy's like tucking him in and having like a nice little seat. And the kid's like, and people on the ship are very worried. It's like, oh, they're worried because of me. Oh shit. Oh, I gotta go now. Everyone's in danger. I gotta. What the fuck? Do you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Was that me?
Was the only mic that was open.
Yeah. What? Okay, well it's gone now. That's weird.
Cricket's gone. Okay, cool.
Oh god!
Cricket's back.
The cricket!
Oh no!
Back. Oh no! It is the
It's the ghost! It's the ghost of the cricket that you killed, Zots! What have you done? What have you done to us?
This really is the spooky stream.
Oh,
no,
God.
the ghost of the cricket.
It's feeling so Halloweeny.
Oh no!
I think it's your guilt manifesting.
On a previous episode, Zots was being plagued by the same cricket that inspired Havana Syndrome,
That's fucking true.
and murdered it live on the show.
Yeah.
It was horrifying.
Only Star Trek podcast with a body count.
Yeah.
No way that's.
Excuse me.
I said there's no way that's true.
Oh, no, I'm sad. The kid's like, I've got to leave. I've got to get out of here. Everyone's in danger, and immediately kills himself using his magic powers. Troy figures out that that was like, you have to go. Wait, you're dying! Oh God, call a doctor down here. The kid is basically dead immediately and cannot be revived. It seems like a pretty responsible alien. It seems like a pretty nice fairy all the while.
Well, in one sense, yes, but in another sense, he could have perhaps left on a shuttlecraft so that Counselor Troy wouldn't be left with the lifelong trauma of watching her child die.
Wait,
that's a good
hold
point.
on. I'm reconsidering something. Didn't she say she knew what that entity's plan was from the start?
No. The entity
Was she
conveyed its plan telepathically to
Okay.
her after it revealed its true form.
So then, was she just playing along with it?
No.
Like,
She didn't
Because
know.
like she wanted to, because like
No,
if she.
It's her biological imperative as a woman. It just took over.
That is the framing of the show too. Like,
Oh shit.
but yeah. So the fairy revealed its true form, and Data, even though Data, the fairy hunter, is present, the fairy cups itself into Troy's hands to say goodbye, and that's when they have the telepathic like connection where the fairy communicates its form. The fairy reveals.
Like,
There's
by
like
the way,
a bell
probably-
ringing.
Yeah. Probably could have asked you this before I did it. You okay with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, little less than ethical. This fairy, admittedly, but the fairy are mischievous folk. Historically
the
speaking.
FeyWild.
Yeah, is it possible
Bad
that
for consent.
Ian is still alive? Ian is still alive somewhere, and they just replaced him with like a block of wood.
Oh, it's true. Well, so the fairy reveals its true name to Troy telepathically, and Troy's like, it was a life force entity who encountered us in space and wanted to go learn about us out of curiosity by impregnating me and living for a brief time as my quickly fast growing child. So then, okay, well, the kid's dead, so we move on. Jordy asked the doctor how long it'll take to develop a vaccine, to which the doctor is happily like, we may never develop one. And I'm like, aren't like billions of people dying on the planet from the plasma plague, which is apparently exterminating all life? Like, I don't know. It's
Why
just
you
kind
gotta give it to Trump, man? Trump got it done.
That's true. That's true. I've always said that the Federation needs its own Trump.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
hand it to him.
You gotta hand it to him. No explanation.
Wesley tells Picard that the closing of the episode, the kid's dead, whatever. We'll never talk about him again. Wesley tells Picard that he wants to stay on the ship and asks for Picard's permission, and then Picard contemplates ways of eliminating Wesley without his mom knowing, realizing that he has no like social way out of the situation. He decides to instead just
killed your dad, child, and I'll kill you.
Finish the job.
He decides to publicly roast him on the bridge instead of killing him. He assigns Worf to tuck him in, Data to teach him, and Riker to teach him how to live. God damn it!
I thought Riker was going to teach him about the birds and the bees.
Oh, that's
Right.
that's what's implied. Yeah.
Wesley,
Yeah.
you're just in time. Come, let me show you my bone. Let me play my bone. Let me play my bone for you, Leslie.
Yeah, we already went
Cursed.
over the age of consent episode, Josh. It's Josh. I called you Josh.
Josh, who the fuck is?
It was Josh.
Who the fuck? Who is this Josh?
Josh is the
Why
name
haven't
of the.
you told me about Josh?
Josh is the name of the
Only
cricket
Josh.
that you killed. Okay.
Oh god, you're possessed now.
Well, you know, I'm my mind is in two places, drifting between this world and the spirit world. But I think I'm probably
Where have I
fine.
heard that one before?
You've been impregnated by the Josh has traveled into you
Oh
and
no,
made you
no.
pregnant.
My belly. I have to. Someone quickly get me an ultrasound.
And guilt me into keeping it. It'll be great.
I remember watching this
Hey.
episode as a kid and thinking like, how fucking dumb is this alien? Because like, if I want to know more about like squirrels, say,
You don't go out and impregnate a squirrel.
yeah, like
I'm not out here. I'm not out here fucking squirrel.
you know, and like squirrels. If I had a profound question about the squirrel experience, and I could also telepathically communicate with squirrels and feel their feelings, I would not feel the need to like, now I will fucking immaculate conceive a child with this squirrel. And then watch the look on the
Squirrel
squirrel's
on a
face
nut.
as it sees its child die prematurely. Later,
What's the radiation that you're? What is the radiation that you're admitting that's going to kill all the squirrels? Is it?
it's just calm.
Oh, I
It's
see.
just a bunch
Okay.
of cum. Just,
I'm sorry.
I mean,
please
excuse me,
continue.
nut.
Yeah. Hey!
Hey.
What was so we you know, when you really think about it in those terms, Zeus is just a zoologist, with just a very specific method. Oh my.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I think this episode was somebody's fetish.
Probably. Also, you got to think about. You said immaculate conception, and you know you got to think about what does this say about the history of Christianity on Earth. Was it just a Tinkerbell moment like
Oh
this?
my God.
Point.
Oh my god, that's
You
good.
know?
What if it
Although
was?
they
what
did
if it
have
was
that
fair?
episode of the original series where they did confirm that Christianity is the one true faith.
Oh, thank
True.
goodness.
Well,
I forgot
that's
about that one.
that's several episodes of the original series.
No, but there's that one episode specifically where they go to some planet, and then there's like a star. As they're leaving, like Christ is born on that planet, and they're like, "Wouldn't that be something? See it happen all over again." And then they fucking leave. They're like, well, we'll leave you to it. Have fun. And it's like, you just discovered what the real religion is, and you don't have like questions. You're just gonna bounce. So fucking crazy.
I do not. I'm very much less familiar with the original series. I have not actually seen all of the original series. So I can't wait to come across that episode. I remember the one where Kirk reads those guys the Constitution. I included a clip of that scene earlier on. Well, I mean, shit. That's the child. That's episode 1. We're halfway through. Thoughts on the episode, folks? Was it good? Was this where favorite episode from Mildred?
Yeah.
Damn, that's big.
Yeah.
Forget Darmok, forget Measure of a Man, forget all good things. You know, freaking the child.
Wait, who is Darmok hanging out with?
Jawad is Nagra.
Oh, at Tanagra. Oh, nice.
Datha and Picard at Eladril.
Oh, true.
Remember.
And Shako when the walls fell.
Oh.
Those are sure words.
Oh man, it's gonna be so. You're gonna think it's so fucking funny when you see the episode. You'll remember this. You're gonna remember this. You're gonna remember this bit, and you're just gonna laugh.
Just
You
laugh.
gotta remember
laugh.
this bit when we get to it 5 years from
Those
now.
were the things they
I wish
said
I could
that
have done.
time.
Oh, I wish I could have laughed like this with my friends. You know?
Don't
One
worry,
day.
the rest of us will be dead and replaced by the time we get around to that to that episode. I mean, it took us like a full year to get through season 1. So I'm to be fair, most of that was pre-Vyvanse Eric. Now you're getting Vyvanse Eric, who's significantly more productive. So you know we'll you know, and if Vyvanse Eric was around sooner, maybe this podcast would have looked way different and started a year earlier and been about Star Trek Picard, and then we all would have self-immolated by the time we finised the season. Who knows?
Yeah, that being said, you know, it's still worth getting treatment, even if it makes you watch Star Trek Picard. You know?
Yeah, no, it's true. That's true. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Please consult a psychiatrist and get diagnosed if you think you suffer from anything, whatever. Go get a psychiatrist.
Yeah. There is no cure for liking Star Trek Picard, but ADHD can be treated.
Well, like, so favorite episode, right? 10 out of 10, The Child.
10 out of 10, best episode of the series. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
what
agree.
more is there to say? It's classic.
Yeah, we don't really rate the episodes, but I think we should start here. Everyone agree 10 out of 10 for The Child, right?
I mean,
No.
no, but
Oh,
No.
okay.
it was
okay.
good. It was good.
Okay. Well, you know, some people have taste, but we won't talk about that now. And here's where we get
You
to.
probably shouldn't get it. You have to have a pretty high IQ to get the episode.
That's true. That's true. You gotta have a real.
God, I fucking hate Pulaski. Anyways, continue.
Gotta have real certain predilections for racism and Mpreg'd to appreciate The Child and the potential that it has.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for the idea that Riker, in an alternate universe out there, there's this episode where instead Riker
No,
is.
I don't think it should have been Riker. I think it should have been that random sweaty hairy guy that it zoomed
That
past.
would have been good.
Oh, true. Yeah, why? Yeah, why did the fairy stop at eating the? So the
'Cause
fairy.
it's a little freak. What are
This-
you not getting about this?
This is
He's
true.
a little fucking freak.
This is true.
Nasty
Yo,
little fairy.
it wasn't
Show.
just like some kind of benevolent alien. It was just a
No, he
nasty
hung around. It
little
was like-
freak moving around. I mean, this fairy could have done this to thousands of ships over its lifetime in like the endless infinite void of space. We don't know what this fairy gets up to. It's
Yeah,
nasty.
so I just want to learn about your habits. Oh, do you? Is that why? Couldn't think of
Yeah.
another way to do it except yeah. Okay.
I'm curious about you, so I'm going to experience the sensation of birth for myself and be raised by a mother. It's as just like a fully sapient being, and it's just totally normal. I'm just curious.
totally
This is how
normal.
you guys do
And-
science. This is how I do science. This is how we do
and
science.
like yeah, I can psychically communicate with you. So in theory, I suppose I
Wait.
could have asked for consent, but
Wait. Hold on. What if the little like ball of energy, maybe it's just like one of those like an alt-right investigative journalist trying to prove that like life under a single mom isn't as hard as everyone makes it out to
Oh my
be.
god.
I don't like the implications of this. We're not thinking about this. We have to move on.
I just love the idea of a fairy flying into like the locker room of the Enterprise and just being like, "Damn, it smells crazy in here," and then just like and then just climbing into somebody.
Oh, what the fuck?
That was the
Kind
child.
of a direction. Wow.
That was the kinkiest episode of Star Trek thus far.
What a different world we'd live in, I think, if Pulaski had been the one to get pregnant. And then
Right off the bat,
Whoa.
first episode.
Instead,
and the entity would have went to war with humanity after experiencing what it's like to have a mother that doesn't love you.
Yeah, that would have been a great start. Where's the doctor? Oh, she's in the bar. Okay, I'll go to the bar. Doctor, why are you in the bar? Because I'm fucking pregnant, you bald bastard.
Man,
Pounded him back.
and
Or fucking blasting a phaser up her, like.
Gotta be clean.
Specify parameters.
that's podcast, folks. That's half of the podcast.
That's half of one podcast.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
I think the problem here is that we're too funny.
That's probably it. I think
I run into that problem a lot.
that's that's why you started making YouTube videos, because it's you were just too funny,
Really
so you're able to edit around the parts where you're extremely funny to keep your audience from dying.
Exactly. Yeah.
We do the same thing here. We edit out all the funniest parts of this podcast, so we just get a very straight and narrow retelling of the events of Star Trek TNG.
You're gonna be working overtime this time.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my God, when you really think about it, I don't think human beings were meant to talk for more than like 10 minutes a day.
Or tell jokes. I see it every day on Twitter. I'm like, that, people were not meant to tell jokes.
One of my anthropological interests is ancient humor, and I love the one of the like the Babylonian one about the dog. You know what I'm talking about?
Could you tell us the joke?
You heard about this? You heard about this?
Yeah, you know. Oh, I'm gonna have that set up. Hold on.
You hear this one about the dog?
from Babylon, from the times of Gilgamesh. Have you heard?
Shit.
Yeah, yeah. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? A dog walks into a tavern and says, "I can't see a thing. I'll open this one."
Thank goodness. Excellent joke.
I do
my
love...
favorite part is the context is just completely gone, so we don't understand what the fuck is happening, but we do have the build up of the joke and like the delivery of a punchline.
It's great.
Like the form is there.
Have any of you like
when aliens land, all of our jokes are going to sound like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when they recover the fragments of the audio from this podcast, and they're like, what's an Mpreg'd? We don't know. It's a way of life from their culture that has been lost over time.
Data, I need you to look back into what the possibilities of Mpreg'd.
Data, consult your cultural database for Mpreg'd. Okay. Mpreg'd
All that's left is
according to deviantart.com.
Mpreg'd could refer to a drink on Sumer 5. A popular fan fiction trope among wolf erotica from the Earth of the 21st century. Computer, stop there!
God, no. Oh God. Data's just trying to explain to fucking Riker and Picard what slick is.
Riker knows.
Riker knows.
Riker reads the Alphaverse for sure.
Data just turns back to the helm and says, "Pregante."
Data walks up to Pulaski and asks, "How is Babby
familiar
formed?"
with Dan's Undertale?
Data just perfectly recreates. Did it? Are any of you familiar with the Pompeii graffiti stuff? Where they recovered a whole bunch of graffiti that people.
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I mean, there's no setup to this joke. It's just interesting. There's just a bunch of people like shit posting on like the walls of taverns and stuff that got preserved like in Pompeii.
Nothing has ever changed in history.
Yeah.
It's just like the exact same shit.
It's the same stuff.
Well, we apparently respect property a little more now, sadly. Because now you go into the bathroom and that's where people have to go and do their shit posting.
Yeah, you
But,
can't just like
actually.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, like those two roommates.
Oh, that's true.
There was a lot of there was one of the most graphic ones that I remember is this one guy writing like hark and despair, women, for my penis only penetrates the behinds of men now. Like that's just something that someone wrote like 2,000 years ago.
On a wall.
Yeah, someone just wrote that somewhere.
Somebody's like,
I think what happened there is there's some archaeologist who wrote that down. He's like, it must have been the ancient Pompeii people. They must have wrote that.
So we come back onto episode 2, season 2, episode 2, where silence has lease, the spookiest episode of the Next Generation thus far that doesn't involve racism mostly. Ooh. And of course in the grand tradition,
Involve racism, but just in a strange reversal of roles, the racist in this episode is the villain.
we open the episode like Picard is looking really troubled on the bridge, and it's kind of some serious music, and they're like, oh, is Riker and Worf are going to be, I combine them into Rife. Okay, that's what the child's called.
They're celebrity couple, man.
Yeah, right.
The power couple of the ship.
Yeah. It's so they're like, oh, Picard's like oh, it's best to be ignorant of certain elements of the Klingon psyche, and they cut to Riker and Worf stalking through a jungle, and they're really dirty already. Worf finds Freddy Krueger's war gloves and growls with sexual satisfaction before an alien turtle with a lead pipe assaults him. Riker sets in to save Worf, but they're ambushed by a wet puppet that's an orc that's also a skeleton carrying an axe.
Yeah.
And
Wet Skeletor. I love it.
Wet Skeletor is on the scene, folks, and we get an epic fight scene where it ends with Worf overcome with animal instincts attempting to kill Riker before Riker pops the safe word, and then everything's okay. Riker's like, oh, do you do this every day? And Worf's like, no, it's usually way more fucked up, but that's too personal to share.
Yeah, I'm not going to show you how I jerk off, Riker.
Yeah.
Unless you're really asking. Are you really asking? Like,
Want to go there?
How serious were you about this today? Let me just level with you. Worf is so, and we realize that Worf is not violent because of his genetics. It's because he plays hyper-realistic, violent video games every day.
Yeah.
The Enterprise is headed to an unknown area of the galaxy, previously unvisited by any Federation vessel, and they appear to have encountered some kind of area of blackness, and it's like moving around and stuff. Seems kind of spooky. They better split up and investigate, gang. But so they spend a scene it's like, oh, we have no fucking clue what this is. They're doing all these tests. They're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Picard calls Data's analysis unscientific because Data's like, I don't know what it is. We can't assume. And Picard's like, yeah, assume. That's what science is all about, assuming things. Picard is like, oh, well, let's go intercept it. Seems like a bad idea, admittedly. They shoot a probe into it. There's like a beeping sound and it vanishes immediately. And then Worf is like, it's gone! It's kind of... Worf is like, we should go into red alert, and it's like, never mind, forget about it. It's nothing really.
You guys probably don't even think I'm cool.
you guys probably wouldn't care about my. Well, you know, it's just that there's this ancient Klingon legend that talks about a gigantic black space creature that devours vessels. It's not important, probably.
I actually wrote some poems about it if you wanted to check them out, but it's probably stupid.
I do have a SoundCloud.
Commander, I think now is the time that we have our poetry slam and talk about how broccoli is man-made.
Oh no!
This is the reference that I do not understand.
That's fine.
That's good.
He apologizes for being very silly, and they all agree that, like, yes, Worf, you're being really silly. I don't know, it's pretty spooky. Sorry, what?
That part actually kind of bothered me, that nobody's just like, oh man, it's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's mad.
Yeah, they're all like agreeing, like, yes, you are a silly Klingon. Yeah.
He's like, these thoughts are unbecoming of a security officer, and they're just like
agreed.
Yeah, kind of, man. Yeah.
Or, myth.
So
myth?
Worf is like, Worf is kind of like, let's fire a photon torpedo into it, and it's like, okay, sure. Picard's like, no, actually, let's get really, really, really close to it, and let's get really close to the moving space void that our probes keep disappearing into, and you know, not even like using horror movie logic. It seems kind of like a dumb idea to me, right?
Yeah.
like okay, there's a black void in space, and you're just gonna get right up next to it, and then they're studying it, and then suddenly, like, it moves and the stars disappear, like, oh no, they got swallowed by it. It's like, okay, well, this is fine. They start talking about a ahistoric understanding of the world and of like the shape and nature of the world, and Picard's like,
that shit Worf believes in.
Yeah, Worf, you think space is flat? You fucking Klingon. Picard's like, oh, crews threatened to hang their captains if it took them to the edge of the world, and I'm like, I don't know. It seems like if they mutinied and then hung Picard, I think that would have actually ended up as a better result for the episode than.
Wait, didn't somebody say there be dragons or something like that?
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, there be dragon. No, we're gonna need you to tone that down. It's just there be dragons getting you.
There be dragons.
There are dragons here.
Well, there's dragons out here.
Wow, look at all these dragons.
Heard about this?
Doctor, don't worry, we get plenty of racism in this episode, because Dr. Pulaski comes onto the bridge and
oh, thank God,
and requests that she's like Data, zoom in, and then she asks him to zoom in 10,000 times in a row, and they reveal only darkness each time, and Pulaski turns around and goes to Picard, is like, it does know how to do this stuff, right? It's like literally misgendering Data. Literally. That's not even a joke.
How, like, you think that this is a machine, but you think that it doesn't know how to increase something's size by 10,000? You think it's a machine, but it's super bad at math? Is that your understanding of this? Like,
And of course, like, and Picard doesn't correct it. He doesn't go like actually he knows exactly what he's doing, you know, which you would think if you only saw the Renegade cut video. I'm so sorry.
And well, also, we're cutting up the part where she then immediately goes, "Sorry, I realized I'm being prejudiced. I have a lot to get used to." Which I think is meant to hint at that, like, she's growing as a person.
Well,
again,
let me go ahead and fire back, because she goes.
I'm really looking forward to the episode where she fucking gives Data a fucking I'm sorry card attached to like a fucking a canteen of oil. referencing the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz.
Well, let's be clear. She actually goes. She goes. Forgive me, Data. I'm not accustomed to living with to serving with unliving devices. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me again. Your Starfleet record says that you're alive, and I must accept that.
Yeah, I guess I forgot the incredibly sarcastic inflection that you're pretending she used.
No, that's literally what she did.
She said those words. She said those words. She did not say it like that. She wasn't like,
okay,
idiot.
You know, she said it more dryly, but the venom was there.
I disagree.
Maybe I'm reading into this.
Okay, Mildred, but what about when she spat after she said it? With Data
what-
right in the
yeah,
eye.
That's considered a sign of respect in robot culture.
What about the scene where she reaches down into Data's off button and then starts disassembling him, and it goes, "See, it is a machine, and now it is off."
It's the only thing that Crusher left in her notes in the Enterprise was how to turn off Data.
Just hey, Pulaski, just in case you need this.
I know you really hate robots and androids. I gave you a way out.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Mildred, what did you say?
I said it was in the folder marked sick prank ideas.
So they start. I am of course being unfair to Pulaski. Pulaski. I do. Let me be clear again. I like Pulaski as a character. Overall, I like Pulaski as a character, and I am interested to see like an alternate universe where she just continued on as like the doctor of the Enterprise, because I think there was a lot of interesting stuff going on there, but we didn't see it because Gates McFadden was like, oh well, it looks like the Star Trek thing is kind of kicking off, and also Gene Roddenberry is a coffin now, so maybe it's the safer working environment for women.
You think Gene Roddenberry was the person making it an unsafe environment?
No,
for women?
I know it was
Rick Berman.
Oh, well, yeah, Rick Berman, and also Gene Roddenberry's lawyer, who was also a monster. I forget his name. And there was also the person who actually wrote the last episode that we watched, the child. Like, it was based on, like, a Gene Roddenberry script, but wasn't, like, but the guy who writing it actually didn't read the Gene Roddenberry script. Forgot his name. Actually, I have it right here. Let me see. This is Maurice Hurley. Who apparently was a real monster on a set. Two of the co-writers later like disowned the previous episode because like he was so awful, or like that's the thing with Star Trek: The Next Generation. There was just like a sea of producers that were just horrible sexist monsters, and then like Gene Roddenberry comparatively was, I mean, he was like sick and dying in the bed. It's like, please, let's do Star Trek. They can't fight. Here's all these scripts I wrote. And then his lawyer is like, okay, well, Gene Roddenberry says that to do everything that I want to happen on the show, and also I can write all the scripts. It's a miracle that more cast didn't quit after season 1. It was just Gates McFadden and oh my god, Denise Crosby. Yeah. But it's a miracle that Picard stayed on, especially Patrick Stewart. So they start speculating what's going on. They've been sucked into the void. They're like, oh, it's kind of like another dimension. Data's like, oh, is not having a dimension itself a dimension? And
Data's really high in this episode, by the way.
They're gonna expound on it. And Riker's like, no, shut the fuck up. We have to move on. They try
cut out this Peyton Smith nonsense, Data.
They try to warp away, but they're still in the void. It's like, wow, seeming getting right up to the moving void was kind of a bad idea, but whatever. They drop a beacon with an accompanying sound effect, and it dims into vanishing before they come across it again, and they don't realize that they're coming across it again, even though the sound effect is coming back. Can they not hear the sound effect that we're hearing? I don't know.
I thought that scene was so funny though. But it's like the comedy beat of like, oh, we're getting a hail.
Yeah.
Shit.
Suddenly a Romulan ship appears, which is I mean, you know, when you really think about it, this void in space is actually being running by like a bad DM. It's like, suddenly a dragon shows up. But a Romulan ship appears and they blow it up immediately. Everyone cheers, especially Geordi. He's like, yes, there's thousands of dead in our hands. Hooray. Think of how many eyeballs will be in the debris.
Try not to think about the fact that this would like restart the most vicious war that the Federation's ever been in.
Yeah.
That like several episodes of the show are dedicated specifically to not getting into fights with Romulans. You know?
Well, to be fair, in the previous season 1 episode, the Romulans were like, "We're back and we're gonna start shit. We're starting shit with the Federations. We are starting shit with the Federations. We're gonna kill you guys now. We've been doing other things that aren't super important. Don't worry about it." But everyone's like, oh, it was way too easy to blow up the Romulan ship. And suddenly, the Enterprise's sister shows up, but nobody's home. Azat's is dying in the background.
Yeah, he's got plasma plague.
Oh shit! No!
I can
It's
feel
been good to
it,
know,
Eric.
First it was Savannah syndrome, now it's plasma plague.
I need someone to help me carry my baby.
Oh my god! Wait, is the cricket back?
Oh god, no, not the cricket.
You want me to walk you down to sick bay?
Ask me a bunch of really invasive questions.
Can you feel it, Zots? Can you feel it? Can you feel it in you? Zots, can you feel it? Zots, how does it feel inside of you, Zots?
What is the plasma plague thinking right now?
Riker and Worf beam over armed. They want to surprise whoever's on the bridge. Riker is like, oh my goodness, I'm not on the bridge. And then some super spooky screaming happens. And then they hear Worf. And I'm like, I didn't think that sounded like Worf screaming, but whatever.
I thought it definitely sounded more like Worf than like Riker.
It's true.
It did not sound like a human scream.
and Worf heard it too and is going to investigate. Almost murders Riker again. That's the second time today. But I mean, maybe this happens every day.
Whomst among us hasn't.
The communication cuts off everywhere. Geordi needs to ask for permission to leave the bridge, like he's in middle school. But Riker discovers that the ship is not Federation. It's made with technology that's beyond theirs, and it's not the Yamato because oh my God, there's multiple bridges. Worf starts having a panic attack, and they're like, I have to open this door.
And then a song by fucking then an old 70s song comes on, and Shaggy and the gang start running through the different magic doors that appear.
It's a real Scooby-Doo moment.
I did like Worf developing communism with Klingon characteristics when he talks about his one Riker policy.
There's only one Riker.
There's only one Riker. But someone who isn't Wesley is operating the helm back over on the Enterprise, and they have speaking lines, but no name yet. The alien says his
you're
name.
Referring to everyone's favorite character, Ensign Haskell.
Thank you, Haskell.
Thank you.
The alien says Haskell at some point, and then I didn't write it down.
He names all of the characters on the bridge, all the ones that you're familiar with, and then conspicuously there's also one guy named Haskell in a red shirt, and so anything can happen, you know.
Yeah, they're clearly being tested because they can't beam out to the away team. But oh my God, the opening of the void! They have Starlock. They can engage the Stargate. We can get out of here. But
and Haskell's like, let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Let's get out of here because he knows what's up. He knows what's gonna happen if they don't leave right now.
Yeah, please. I got a really bad feeling about this, Picard. Please, let's get out of here, please.
Meanwhile, all the characters who have already like signed to do the rest of the season are like, No, I think it's going to be fine, actually.
They quickly piece together that they're being fucked with by some greater intelligence, and then they take the same, like, don't respond to bullying thing from Skin of Evil. It worked out really great for Tasha Yar. It'll probably work out great here. They as they do, a big scary alien face appears that looks like the halfway point between a human and a lizard on like an Animorphs cover, as Zot's pointed out.
That was such a good effect. Oh man.
Well, I loved it.
Well, the big weird alien face, which is also like a very very low budget effect. Where the face definitely looks uncanny, but I love the line that's like, the big face appears. Everyone's like, "Oh God, what the fuck?" And the alien goes, "Why are you alarmed when I went through such trouble to look exactly like you?"
Also, what trouble? What trouble did you have?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You made a fucking Romulan ship appear out of nowhere. You made like a ship with 1,000,000 bridges. You can clearly just make anything.
Well,
later in the episode, you become several characters. Like, why are you giving them a hard time?
I mean, as we know from Odo that human faces are apparently very difficult. So who knows? I don't know. Maybe.
Odo's a cop, so he's just dumb. Odo's a cop.
I posted in the chat.
This guy's a cop too, though.
The exact Animorphs cover that TNG ripped off in the chat.
I'll post that very blown up and pixelated.
I would like to submit.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It really does have a very flat nose too.
As long as we're throwing out comparisons.
Oh please. Oh please.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully Eric remembers to like put these up in the YouTube video so you can see what we're doing, and write in the comments below which one nailed it.
Hold on, I got one. Hold on. Wait a second. I got one. I think
well, we all got one.
I'm submitting mine.
Yep.
This is kind of the role he plays on the episode.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So let us know in the comments below who nailed it.
Please vote.
Also,
vote
don't
in the
forget
comments.
to put. Also, Eric, don't forget to put up what the god looks like that they.
Don't worry. With my very fancy and prolific editing skills, I'll make this look great.
Nagimli or something?
What?
So it was something like that. Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
I don't know what the fuck your thing is.
Wasn't it like
your thing is, Brian?
Maybe it was Gillian, right? Yeah, it was Gillian.
It's not Gillian. Come on.
Is that from the live action Land Before Time remake?
Yeah. Okay.
Someone from my Discord has
McGillum.
messaged me.
Gillum.
Gillum. Yeah, McGillicuddy. Yeah, no, we got it.
Yeah. As portrayed by Earl Bowen, whoever that is.
It's just a face.
And what a face.
Oh my god. Did you know that they didn't even give Miles oh my god, O'Brien the name Miles O'Brien yet? They were just calling him Transporter Chief in the credits.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I did not know that now.
I think they had already called him. I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
I thought they did say O'Brien in the first episode. I really thought they did. But yeah, maybe.
No, I don't know. You both said it. Like,
we just started.
Yeah, you just said it.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it.
Miles. Look, it's Miles. Oh my god.
Well, so
as is everyone's reaction when they see.
Hey, it's Miles!
It's O'Brien! Oh my god! It's Chamber of Chief!
they piece together that they're being fucked with. It's like sorry, I put back on my notes. The alien appears. Data says that it's not there. Geordi calls it ugly. Picard starts doing diplomacy, and it says its name is Nagilum. Nagilum appears to be much more baffled by the differences between a human male and a human female than a human and Data.
And a fucking Klingon, yeah.
Yeah. There's a Klingon.
Well, he remarks on Data. He's like, "Oh, you're a robot. That's weird." And then you got that.
Yeah. What's this? And it's like, this
other guy is like double of every organ, but
Yeah.
Oh, no, what's your deal?
There's one guy that's made of. There's a robot. There's a guy. There's a guy with 15 hearts. And there's a woman. What's this?
There's a robot. There's a guy who evolved from a spider.
Yeah.
The god alien is just like a 1950s like stand-up comedian where it's just like, now the android, I understand he's got an off switch unlike my wife, you know what I'm saying?
I like that you said 1950s and then immediately went into Andrew Dice Clay.
Yo, whatever. We know what I meant.
The alien demands that they demonstrate breeding. If only he was there for the last episode. And then
Riker probably would have done it if they pressed the issue.
Yeah, we didn't really see it. Riker off stream was just shrugged his shoulders, like, okay, if he wants to.
He's already got his pants off.
Go back to Riker. He's just like readjusting his belt, like, okay,
Captain, there's no other way.
The alien, he was like, oh, is it true that you guys like die? And Picard's like, what? Who told you that? That's not. no, probably not. No.
You're thinking of a different species. Totally not us.
You're thinking of a different organism. Yeah. Like, oh well, and then he makes the helm officer die. Who Zod's hilariously identified the guy when he first appears. Like, isn't that guy from a meme? That guy. I seen a GIF of this guy from somewhere, and of course, so Zod spoiled it for himself. The alien kills. The internet spoiled it for Zod. Thanks, internet. Thanks, cultural osmosis.
Yeah, you robbed him of the incredibly meaningful moment where our favorite character, Ensign Haskell, dies.
Rest in peace, Ensign Haskell. He's killed by the alien in a way that we're not even sure exactly what happens. He just starts going, death. Oh god, and he grabs his face and like, oh,
just death. That's what it was. Yeah, it was just death. Just gave him death.
Just fucking dies. It's horrible.
This is the second time in as many episodes where an alien is like, I don't understand what these meat aliens are doing, what their life is like. So I need to like actually experience it. And again, it's like if you have questions about what death is like scan their computers.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some. I'm sure that. Is E1&2 still like archived like on the Enterprise? Like, let's just send the fucking alien like a little stick with like the videotape that's in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
Just Google "not safe for life" and you'll have a great time.
Yeah,
asshole alien.
Instead of any of that, it's just like fucking all of Riker's anime music videos that they made, all the like Linkin Park, Dragon Ball Z like clips.
show him the tape from Yu Yu Hakusho that like makes people evil. Like show him collateral murder, and then Nagilum's like, wow, so the people that are responsible for this are punished, right? Like, no, Nagilum, they weren't. It's so fucked up, right? Anyway, the person that showed it to the press was Nagilum. If you're interested in history, we can show you. But Nagilum's like, oh no, I think I'll just kill like half of you. I need to experience every type of dying, and not experience it for myself. I need to just like watch as I just murder half of the crew in various ways.
Oh man, how awesome would it have been if like the thing was just like, I need to experience all types of death, and then like just puts the cube from the Hellraiser on the bridge.
Yeah. I was feeling a big Hellraiser vibe from that too. Yeah.
Solve this, Mpreg'd.
Also, I really feel like they didn't really push the issue much, because I don't think anyone ever explained to him like, no, we really don't like dying.
That's true. That is
It's
true.
bad.
They're kind of
can't come back from it. Like it's the end for us. Like, you know.
Yeah. Remember, they do that for Q, but they don't do it for Nagilum.
I guess they just realized that Nagilum was a little freak. They just keep encountering little freaks.
So here's the thing about Nagilum: he does not seem to this is the first he's learned of the concept of death. You know.
True. That's a good point.
He knows so little of organic life that he is not familiar with the concept of sexual dimorphism, right?
True.
It's true.
And so to him, like he's just floating out there in space, making starships appear in holes for no reason. Along comes these little meat guys, and they die, and he's like, "What's that about?" And they just start like yelling at him.
That's a good.
Like, what? What I do? What? Okay, I'll just. Okay, look, I'll only do it to half of you. Is that okay? And they're like, fuck, man.
Yeah, they really do kind of take it on the chin. That's a good point. I had a similar thought with what's the Skin of Evil's name? What is the Skin of Evil's name? Brian, you know
Armis.
Armis,
White.
thank you. What?
Oh, you're on Star Trek.
Yeah.
I had the same thought with Armis. I was like, well, Armis, it seems like you could maybe you could just talk to him like a little bit. He seems kind of like affable. Like, he did warn Tasha not to do the thing that she was doing before.
This Armis apologia is out of hand.
Listen.
We're talking about the skin shed by Titans of evil.
I'm just asking questions about the skin of evil, okay? This is what this. Anyway, moving on. Listen. It's okay. They killed Armis at the end of the episode because they exploded the shuttlecraft. You could see the explosion from space. It was like a million nukes going off at the same time. So Armis is dead. And I'm just kidding. He comes back in lower decks. He's in lower decks. He's still alive.
They prank call him.
Yeah, it's true. I love lower decks. I still haven't seen all of season 3. I need to watch season 3. Picard. Yeah, so they were like, oh well, this is unacceptable. Worf's like, well, in battle, like 50% losses is acceptable. It's like, I don't know, is it? I mean, like, as opposed to 100% maybe, but like
everyone's like, hey Worf, no, it's not, Worf. Shut up, Worf. and then they're like, oh, so what should we do? It's like, well, I guess we should just probably kill everybody,
Yeah, let's just fucking self-destruct. That'll be better.
You're just not gonna listen to Worf and just let him kill people. No, we'll kill ourselves.
Hey, Worf knew what was going on. It was going to be his only chance to ever actually like succeed at something. So he was just, because from here on out, he just gets fucking owned everywhere he goes.
It already started. It's already in the process.
Yeah, he just wanted to get in one W.
He gets owned by a door already. In this
How
episode.
are we gonna show you that that this is a really strong enemy? Well, let's just let that enemy kick Worf in the nuts. And then Worf will.
And Klingons have
roll
more
on
of
the ground.
those than humans do too.
Yeah,
yeah, there's
more.
4.
And the man who fights Skeletors for fun.
And I like how it's like his first nemesis is the fucking door, which is like a hard lead in to his like second like foil, which is unchained 50-gallon barrels.
Yeah. You're not supposed to know about that yet.
Hey now.
I think they have an acceptable solution. It's like, okay, are you gonna let this alien? I mean, the alien isn't even like, oh, we'll only kill 50% of you and then I'll let you go. The alien's like, I'm just gonna kill 50% of you, and that's just it. And so I think they were like, fuck it. I'm not gonna let him torture and kill hundreds of people. We'll just blow up the fucking ship. Picard and Riker determined that 20 minutes is the best amount of time to give everyone prep time to die. If you're on the Enterprise, I'm an open question to everyone here. If you lived on the Enterprise and you found out you had only 20 minutes left to live, what would you do?
Mutiny. I would fucking mutiny. I would immediately mutiny.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that this episode introduced the idea of mutiny, then put the crew in a situation where the only reasonable thing to do is to mutiny. And it's not even discussed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would straight just like put out a whole thing like across all comms to meet in the holodeck to start a fucking sex pit. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Orgy in the holodeck.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that one. Except I mean, it's there's one on holodeck 3, there's one on 10 forward. It kind of depends just what your vibe is.
They're doing that all the time anyway. Why would you need actual people to come to an orgy?
That's true. That's a good point.
You can just create your perfect orgy in the holodeck. You're probably so fucking sick of orgies at this point.
Well, but you have to consider that it's we're all gonna die sex.
Yeah.
Brian, are you?
I gotta imagine that's like way better than just like regular I'm still alive.
See, personally, I would just be in 10 forward, getting drunk and crying. But that was just me.
Okay, so you're in the background of the 10 forward orgy. Then you're just trying to drink your last moments away.
I've got a chair set up in the corner, watching everyone have like a real nice time. With the last moments.
You're the Barkley of this episode.
I would absolutely be the Barkley of this episode. Yes, absolutely.
Picard. What's Picard do with the last 20 minutes of his life? Well, he retires to listen to some
jazz,
a queer 19th century French composers, which I mean seems like a good idea of anyone else. I of course would be at the 10 forward orgy. The song that Picard is listening to, which also plays in the background of the scene, is I believe it's called. It's like a Frenchification of a Greek word of a festival. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. But
Brian knows it.
Wait, which one?
The song.
No. Brian had the wrong one. It
was the wrong one. I said Claire de Lune, but it was not Claire de Lune.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna try to do it French. Mpreg'd.
Can you write it down? I'm very good at faking French.
Yeah. Should I have it on my?
A very useful skill to have. That's why we brought. We knew Picard. We would need like a Picard translator. That's really why Brian's here.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I don't have it up on here. Let me type it out.
Okay.
GYMNOPE, but the E is an accent. DIES. Mpreg'd.
Wait, but it's French.
Yes, it's French. It's a Frenchification of a Greek word. Of a Greek word, because it's like a Spartan festival apparently.
Yeah, no, this would be like Mpreg'd.
Oh, okay. Mpreg'd. So there's the Mpreg'd. There's 3 of them. The one he's listening to is the first and most iconic one. Le nez de rue, which means slow and painful in English. Eric Satie is the or Eric Satie, I think is Eric Satie is the thank you.
I don't know.
He's one of the fathers.
Children, are you near like French-ish people up there? No, are you not?
I would do anything to not have to discuss this anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
What answer can I give that'll expedite this process?
Just say no.
He's one of the fathers of ambient music. He's dyslexic. He's a socialist. He's a 19th century proto drill shitposter. He died of alcohol-derived liver failure. The second version of the song is called "Slow and Sad," "Lut de Triste." The third is "Lut de Grave," which is slow and serious. They're in different keys. Whatever. It's a whole thing. There's like a beautiful poem that was accompanied in the magazine with it. It's not important. But the song continues in the background as Troy expresses to Picard that he's making a mistake and that destroying themselves wouldn't change Nagilam's mind. And Picard is like, well, you seem very certain all of a sudden. Data comes in and asks like Picard, like, what is it to die? And Picard's like, oh, is that all?
It's great because from Picard's perspective, he has like 10 minutes to live.
Yes,
and like his crew is like coming in and like, yeah, I got questions for you. All right, so what's it like to die? What do you think? Yeah, this is how I want to spend my last moments.
Picard proceeds to give a pretty narrow, in my mind, view of death, and reveals that he's an agnostic. He's like, well, some people think that we become immortal, enjoy Earth-like garden, they'll give delight and pleasure for eternity, and the entire universe is designed to become that. And some believe we just die, and all our hopes are delusions. And I'm just here thinking, like, why exactly do hopes and dreams necessarily have to be delusions for death to be a permanent sensation of being? Kind of seems like a false dichotomy to me, Picard.
If your hope was to become immortal, then perhaps,
Yeah, that's a good point. Picard, but Picard has the most boring position of all these. I'll wait until we get confirmation of life from Zots. Are you? Can you confirm life, Zots? Are you okay?
Life confirmed. Life.
Life. Okay, great.
Confirmed.
Didn't pull a Haskell. Appreciate it.
The cricket got me.
But Picard, this podcast is actually just a retelling of the classic movie Unfriended, where we just all start getting killed by the ghost of a cricket while we're doing a podcast.
Oh my God.
Picard says that he's a New Age Christian and believes that he's a starseed. Upon death, that he's going to ascend into 5D. Troy and Data are like, it's wrong of you to force us to die. I'd rather try and be the one who survives. And Picard's like, it's Nagilam. It's not gonna work, Nagilam, and suddenly Nagilam and the Void vanish.
Yeah, nice try. Nice try trying to make me think that my crew would disapprove of my choice to murder them all. I think I know my crew pretty well, and I think they'd be okay with it.
I find it weird for myself that I don't, because when I'm watching Voyager, I have that perspective all the time. It's like, you're really gonna let your captain like enforce all of these like dangerous things on you and just rule you for the rest of your life in an iron military fist? Like, no, they're not going to establish some kind of like democratic process, at least. No, it's just the captain just like living permanently. And then I come back, maybe I'm just sexist, because I come back to this episode and I look at Picard as like, oh well, everyone should die, and I'm like, yeah, that's irrational, that's a good decision. It seems well founded.
It's good that you're able to see that in yourself. And that means you can make
like I'm sitting here
changes.
And I'm thinking like, why am I? Maybe it's because I agree that yeah, it is better for everyone to die. Everyone because I'm assuming the consent of the crew here, when obviously he didn't get the consent of the fucking crew. But I'm assuming like, okay, we're all okay with that.
Why would that be better? That seems.
Well, does that?
Hold on.
Wait. No, hold on. Does this become?
Hold on. Let me check my math. Voice is bad. Yeah.
I was gonna say, does this look like later on in like future Trek or whatever? Is this taught like the trolley problem? Like, is this like 31st century trolley problem?
Well, no, that's the Kobayashi Maru.
maybe it's because I agree with the perspective that's like, well, if we bluff that we're gonna, or maybe even sincerely are going to be like, oh well, I mean, fuck it, we'll just kill each other. Like, that's the best chance of everyone getting out of it. But maybe that's that's me just maybe that's me looking forward.
They don't seriously consider any other option. It's just like he's like, well, I'm gonna kill half of people, and they're like, oh yeah, well, we'll fucking blow up the ship. Fucking try us.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, they didn't really like try to explain to Nagilum that torturously murdering like hundreds of people is like a bad thing. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and also from Nagilum's perspective, what does he lose if they do that? Because his goal is to learn about death, and he's like, okay, look, if you don't want me to do this, I'll only do it to half of you. How does that sound? And they're like, no, it's gonna be all of us. And he's like, fuck.
I mean, potentially, that's a big exploding ship inside of what is ultimately Nagilum's body, which may not be the best for Nagilum. I don't know.
They don't try shooting it. That's a good point. They don't ever try shooting it. We don't know. Like, maybe Worf was right with this photon torpedo. Maybe if they launched a photon torpedo, maybe the Nagilum would have just died. we don't know.
No, they would have never. They never really would have shot at Nagilum because he's coated white, and as we know, the Federation starships don't fire on their own,
They would have shown up and shot Haskell. Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace, Haskell. The ship is gonna blow up in a minute, and Picard is gonna make damn sure that they're actually out of Nagilum before canceling the auto destruct sequence, and it goes to the bridge. There's 10 seconds left. Picard waits 5 seconds to cancel the self-destruct sequence. There's only 2 seconds left, but Riker takes 4 full seconds expounding on the fact that he unequivocally agrees, but he accidentally takes up more time than the remaining time on the counter, and the ship blows up and they all die. That's the end of the series.
And Nagilum does too. It's amazing.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, because it was a trick the whole time.
And then it gets to the holodeck where it turns out that Riker was watching the whole show. I'm just kidding. What kind of an ending would that be?
What kind of a terrible ending to a canceled series would that be? Oh my goodness.
Remember Dallas?
Doesn't it?
Don't worry, Zots.
Remember Dallas?
Don't worry, Zots. We'll get to it 10 years from now. We'll get to it. Picard retires back to his ready room. Nagilum appears on the black mirror of Picard's laptop and then condemns humanity. And Picard doesn't really fire back. He's not like, you brutally killed Ensign, what's his name? Picard says
also, he's like, humanity's too militant. And so you understand then that militancy is bad. But you don't understand that death is bad.
Yeah.
What is your problem with militancy in that case? Like what?
He doesn't like belligerence.
I'm anti-imperialist. Okay. Forward thinking. Alien.
The Gilliam is just the kind. It's just an ardent anti-imperialist. Absolutely. Picard retires to his So Picard isn't like, oh well, I mean, fuck you killed people. Can you use your powers to maybe bring this guy back to life? But he doesn't say anything. Well, Picard compliments him as like, haha, well, I mean, at least our species share curiosity.
Yeah. We're not so different, you and I.
and then they move on. The helm officer is continually unmourned. As Wesley has now replaced him onto the bridge, Riker jokingly says, if you see any holes in space, steer clear. And then they all laugh as the episode closes, and we see the helmsman corpse being like dragged off the bridge in the background, and they're all like, ah.
And then there's a post-credit scene where Picard has to call his widow, explain to her that he died in the line of duty. She's like, oh, he was probably doing something really heroic, right?
Yeah.
So we went into a space hole, and
I just wanted to get really close to the space hole, and that we fell in. It couldn't. No one could have seen this coming. No one could have predicted this, and it's no one's fault.
well, as long as he knew what he was getting into.
As long as he was told the risk beforehand, I'm sure it's fine.
Well, one thing is his last words were, "We should probably leave," because we did have the opportunity to leave, but I didn't want to because my buddies were.
Picard takes an all or nothing stance to the trolley problem. Everyone dies or no one dies. Picard's response to the trolley problem is like, okay, well, I'm going to take the one person on the other track and bring them over to that track, and then I'm going to lay on it myself, and that way it will all be, morally equal when the trolley comes.
Also, we are assuming here that they were actually going to be able to leave, which.
That's whatever. Here's the thing about
Why would he lie
Nagila.
about it, though? Why would he lie? What reason would he have to lie? If he was going to lie, why would he tell you he was going to kill half the crew?
Well, I mean that the space hole that he opened to exit the space hole when it just closed when they got close to it.
I see.
Yeah, that part. Because Nagila, kind of a scamp, a little bit of a trickster.
He's a little bit of a troll. We do a little trolling here in Void Space.
I do feel like, though, the minute he learns about death and he's like, "Oh, I want to learn more about death," they never revisit it. Like, hold on, let's show you the mating thing. We said we weren't going to do it earlier.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. If that's the alternative, like maybe we can work something out here. Give you a little show.
It's way Picard would much rather just kill everyone than Picard's a never nude, you see.
Want us? If you really want, I mean, we can make the Klingon and the android fuck. If you really want to see some shit.
Picard snaps.
Number one, pull up your browser history.
He snaps his finger. He points at Worf, points at Data, snaps his fingers. Everyone knows what has to happen.
That's my fan fiction.
Yeah. Thoughts on Where Silence Has Lease. But let's rate it. 10 out of 10, right? Another 10 out of 10?
Absolutely.
10 out of 10.
Best episode of the series, I think.
Doubt. It's not good.
Uncomparable to the Child. They're different genres. This one's horror. The other one is I don't know. What's
horror? Sure. Yeah.
This one's horror. What's the genre of the Child? Medical drama.
After school special. About abortion.
Oh yeah, we had an after school special about drugs. Now we have an after school special about the sanctity of life and conception.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, I don't get back and watch this era of TNG very often.
Why not?
I was gonna ask in your rewatches of TNG, do you just skip right to like 3 or to like Measure of a Man or something, or do you go back to the beginning? Do you ever see Code of Honor after the first time?
I watched Star Trek The Next Generation as it was meant to be watched, which is you just put on a random episode. And which is how I watched it as a child. It's just whatever they were going to put on in syndication out of order.
True.
That's what I saw. That's
Yeah.
the way I was raised, and it's good enough for me.
I was like, oh, Hercules is over. Time to go to bed.
Zot's with his responsible bedtimes missed out on being a Trekkie, unfortunately.
And I bet you love like how that panned out for Kevin Sorbo.
Listen, all I'm saying is you can use Kevin Sorbo as a
As...
You can use Ken Sorbo as an example of the importance of wearing a motorcycle helmet. That's. I feel like he changed after that accident. That's my thing.
For the worse, or
For the worst. For the worst.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, yeah, I agree in that case. Yeah.
I invite you onto my show and you try to implicate me in something.
I don't know who you are anymore, man, because I didn't know you were so pro-life, and like learning that, like that's actually like kind of fucked up, I think. I don't think it should be.
I think we've all thoroughly degraded our reputations here, which is what Left Track is about. At the end of it, don't worry. I'm sure that I will edit everything around to make us all seem extremely eloquent and funny, as all our previous episodes are, and extremely likable. That's Left Trek, folks. I'm Eric. You can find me at Left Trek. Joining us as always are the now newly once again streaming. So go check out Zots' stream whenever they happen. Sorry, I'll let you talk about that, Zots.
Twitch.tv/only Zots. The only Zots on Twitch.
And Brian, are we seeing? Don't worry, this episode isn't going to come out for probably like a month.
In like a month, I might be streaming. Who knows?
Don't worry, this episode isn't going to come out.
It's just never gonna
don't worry,
happen.
this episode will be consigned to cybernetic oblivion, and
it's going beyond the black wall. It's gonna be great.
and Mildred, where can people find your work?
You can find me in a big void in space that is YouTube. YouTube.com/ThoughtSlime or YouTube.com/ScaredyCatsTV, depending on your tolerance for spookiness.
And if somehow you're listening to this and you are not already an ardent watcher of ThoughtSlime and Scaredy Cats TV, I personally do recommend it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, big recommend.
Recommend. We're all fans.
Got that Eric bump.
Hey.
Yeah, you finally made it, kid. Well done. That's Left Track, folks. Bye.
Buy a T-shirt from Mildred.
Oh yes. I thought you were advertising your own T-shirts, but if
no, we don't have T-shirts.
Yeah, we don't have it. I was like, buy a T-shirt. Whose T-shirt?
Buy Mildred's T-shirts.
ThoughtSlimeShop.com. That's where the shirts are.
Yep.
Dave,
cut this out, but put the link down below.
I stopped recording right when I did like the thing,
okay,
but then I started recording again after you said buy T-shirts. I'm like, oh, someone's plugging T-shirts. Shit.
Yeah.
And